Welcome, everybody. I bring Zach to you today, and he is a father of one, husband. He's also an executive of a tech company and doing all the things, tons of responsibilities. And he actually lives in two different places from New York City, Long Island. So he's juggling. He flies around a lot too. So let's take it away, jump in and talk about some of your successes because it's been pretty, on my end, easy to work with you because obviously you're a motivated individual. But,
Yeah.
Zach, share with those watching in, who are you? What are you about? What's going on in your world every day?
Yeah, sure, man. I appreciate everything you've done. It's definitely been easy. In like the in a real sense of the term, right? Like the first couple weeks are a little tough as you kind of migrate over, but anyways, we'll talk about that. But who am I? I'm a dad. I want to be around for a long time for my kid. I want to take care of myself. I'm married to a beautiful wife, and I want to, show up in the best light for her.
Right.
Same for my work, right? I work a high stress job. I know that like there's other factors in my life that put more stress on my body. So I want to take care of myself. I want to be in my best like presentation of myself. I want to feel great. And I want to like walk around proud, and like that. So that's kind of what kind of me here, right? This conversation. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, where were you? It kind of take us back to where you were at in the last, say, 5 years or so with health, fitness, activity, and ultimately, kind of what got you into the position where you said, "Hey, I need to do something about myself."
it's interesting, man. It's I date back to the very first time we spoke. I was on a train going out to Long Island, and you said something to me. You're like, what happens if you just keep gaining like a pound or two per year?
Right.
Because I was an athlete and, trained really well and did a lot of hit exercises, was big runner, like all that jazz, right? But like I was just adding a pound or two a year and you increment that over like 15, 16 years, and all of a sudden you're like 30, 40 pounds above target weight.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're looking like an overweight executive, huh? So,
Literally, dude, literally. And you said that comment to me, and I sat there and I was on the train. I don't know if I even said this to you at the time, but I was like, man, when I'm 60 or 70, I'll be like 300 pounds. I'm like, he's right. Like, and I'm like, and in that moment, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This has got to stop like right now. This is out of control. Like, but it wasn't like it was it's like death by a thousand paper cuts, right? It's like I was
yes.
running, a few times a week, a couple miles, right? I would go to gym classes, like I was air quotes eating healthy, marketing material, Instagram healthy, right? But I wasn't doing my plates were wrong. I was eating too many calories, the whole nine. It was just like, let's add another 2 pounds, right? I think I was like 228 or 230 or something like that when I first started. And yeah, I guess we can talk about where I am today too, but I'm down to 202. And
This is
you know,
incredible. And your big stretch goal is 199 just to say you were there, right?
yeah, 199, you know. My wife like could care less. She's like, you look great. You
Right.
know, I'm like, I just want a one. Like I want to like be back in college, like
My,
Brian
my
Crosby.
Yeah, my wife doesn't care if I have abs or not. She says with I have 4 kids, she's don't
Yeah.
die. Just
Yeah.
don't die. I don't want to raise kids by myself. So abs or no abs, it's stay fit and healthy. But,
Literally, man, literally, But yeah, that's what's going on. So
so yeah, we're going for stretch goal right now, but then we're going to settle into what long-term sustainability looks like. So go back. What what got you interested in the first place of getting going in our work together?
yeah, so two of my friends had met you, a guy named Ryan and another guy named Devin, and I've known them a long time. Ryan had done everything you could think of, right? Keto and different diets and calorie restrictions and injections and like just everything on the face of the sun. Devin was like, they were always like on these different programs and stuff and like doing them together. Anyways, Ryan tells me about you, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months before I met you. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting this guy. He's a kind of nutrition focused. He's a coach. He's got an education in this. Like, he's a trained professional. And I was like, dude, that sounds like a really good idea. Right? So I was like encouraging. I was like, versus the Instagram, like, guy who's like 22. Like, I think this is like a guy who's been doing this for like 20 years. It's probably not a bad idea, you know? And so anyways, he's like telling me about this whole thing. He's like, yeah, this guy's telling me about building a plate, and I've lost like 20 pounds. And I'm like, dude, good for you, man. That's awesome, right? And then Devin gets hooked up with you, and Devin's like, dude, he's telling me about building a plate, and I lost 5 pounds, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow, these guys have done this for more than a week, right? They're gonna hear this recording and be pissed. But like, and I was like impressed. And then I'm like, wow, like this is like by the time I met you, I think Ryan was like 4 or 5 months in. And I'm like, Ryan is like consistent with this, right? And he's raving about you, right? And then Devin's like 2, 3 months in, and he's raving about you.
Well, Devin was with Devin real quick. We got on a call, and from
Yeah,
that very first call to the time he actually took action was there's a little bit of lag time. It was just like he's testing water. Okay, I hear what you're offering. Let me think about it. And then the first weekend after he finally committed, he's down weight. He's feeling better. He's just. I always said, Devin, I don't want to like kick you in the butt on this question, but you probably are regretting a little bit that you didn't just get started. Why
yeah,
did you wait
yeah.
so long, right? Oh man.
Yeah,
So
man. So it was an interesting experience, right? But I I heard what they were doing. I got bought in. I let and you made that comment to me. You were like, "What happens if you just stay on this path?" And I'm like, "If I stay on this path, nothing's changing. It's only getting worse.
right,
Nothing's going to change unless I do something, right? Take some action." And like,
right,
you shifted my mindset. I can't even tell you how like 180 my mindset is. It's hysterical. And my wife is like, she knows it now, and like she's totally bought in, and like
right,
it cracks me up, man. It's like everything you didn't know that you should have known. They should have taught you this in like high school. Like I don't know what the hell they were teaching us, but
right,
you know.
right, right, exactly, right. At my best, I am a pattern interrupt. I'm just standing next to you, looking in the bathroom mirror, saying, Zach, what do you want? What is it that you want to see in your body, in your life, in your mind? And then let's start executing on the habits, behaviors, the routines, creating the lifestyle that delivers that look, the body, the feel that you're going for. And that's essentially what we've done. You have two different lives
Mhm.
of at home and then at work, and then also you travel quite a bit, and of course work responsibilities. But you were what, 228 or 202 now.
Mhm.
Had you tried anything beforehand, or just you're just doing stuff and it was and just kind of ended up getting up to that weight, or had you tried anything in the past?
A couple of times, like, but like nothing really super seriously, to be honest. I was just like, I was athlete, and I just kind of rolled with that, right? And I kept the exercise going, the workouts going, and like
Right,
air quotes ate healthy, right? Clean eating or whatever you want to call it, but like wasn't doing the right things, to be fair.
right. Okay. What about some of of course, you said no matter what you do, anything new, even I have a coach, and the first 2 weeks felt like 5 weeks of effort. Like, oh my gosh, there's
Yep.
just things that of just this is the course that we need to create and just different thought processes. And ultimately, I always encourage people to think about this is habits are created how long? A lot of people say 21 days or 3 months or blah, blah, blah. They can be created today. They can be
Yeah.
created right now, and you can set forth on a course that has changed and you don't look back. And,
Yep.
and so, what were some of the early on things that really created that momentum? The whole point of like what I call my program, but that started creating that initial momentum for you in the progress.
That's a good question, man. So I've lost like 26 pounds in 3 months, say, pretty consistently each
Yes,
week.
yes,
And I haven't broken it down exactly like an Excel sheet, but I'm kind of a data geek. If you did, it's about a pound and a half, 2 pounds, right?
right,
Um, that is all, in my opinion, because of the habit. And what happened for me was, and this is a lot of listening to you and Ryan and Devin, and like, and they're just inversely listening to you, right? So, but like, make it really, really simple,
yeah,
make it repeatable, make it super quick, right? If your lifestyle is anything like mine, I will be on something like 8 to 10 hours of calls today,
yeah.
pretty much straight throughout the entire day, right? Um, and those calls probably will end somewhere around 6 to 8:30 tonight,
Mhm.
and there's like a 3.5 minute blip in there somewhere to
Right.
steam some broccoli, some rice, and get some chicken in the fridge, right? And then
Yeah,
scarf that down while I pray that someone doesn't need me on a video Zoom, right? Like so I can just like eat, right?
great.
And
Someone else take control of the meeting right now. I need to eat for 2 minutes, please.
literally, right? It's like so I can think about it like do you some people like call it optimizing or what have you, but like what I really think about is like how do I just make it repeatable and easy? And then just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And then you find all these little tricks to make it like flavorful and change it. But like if you keep that base the same, that makes it really easy. The second thing I found was that like helps with the habits. I don't know if I told you this before, but like I think about like, okay, I live next to a park in the city. Like if I loop the park, it's like 1,500 steps.
Right,
And so I know mentally, like, all right, if I can get out and do a phone call at 11 a.m., 8 a.m., 2 p.m., right? I can knock out 4,500 steps without having to leave my apartment, right? Like generally.
right.
And I like mentally build these blocks in. I'm like, all right, if I walk to the office, that's 4,000 steps there and back,
Right,
guaranteed. So
right.
it's like I look at those as like guaranteed payments into the deposit.
Yeah. To the health bank, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah,
so I think about it every day. I'm like, if I need to go to the office, that's going to give me 4,000 guaranteed. If I'm just working out of the apartment, I can get myself 4,500 guaranteed by walking the park 3 times. And then all the other stuff adds up. You hit the 10,000 steps, etc.
yeah.
But yeah, those are like the two things, man. Make the meals super easy, super quick, and then like build these just little like mental blocks of like, okay, here's how I get my guaranteed this many steps so I can get to the 10,000 plus every single day. Yeah,
And what Zach is referencing is one of the very first formulas I introduce people to. I move this much, I eat this much, and this is what my body does. So the movement, I'm a big 10K step. Zach likes to work out. Whether you like to work out or not, that's not really the point. I don't send people into the gym to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger program if they hate going to the gym. Like it doesn't make sense. But we need to move. And for a busy guy like Zach and a lot of people, can we take some of these face-to-face conversations and take them to a phone call, especially in your situation? Not every single one needs to be face-to-face or computer facing in a sense. You can get on and just have a conversation and use leverage that net time, that no extra time in your day to get out and move. And then all of a sudden you get to the end of the day, instead of moving 2,000, not feeling really good about yourself, and like, oh, I've got a 2 hour walk ahead or something, you're already at 8,000, 9,000, even completed the goal of getting to that 10K. Then the food piece. So building a simple plate and some of the very simple paradigms. I'm looking to create a balanced meal, protein, fibrous carbs, meaning fruit and vegetables, and starchy carbs. And that's it. It's just like two, three, four, possibly five ingredients broken down in the easiest way possible. Zach loves
Mhm.
broccoli. He and I are very much alike. A frozen bag of broccoli, 4 cups in the microwave, 3.5 minutes. If I just need to get it done, or a four, I'm so lazy. Zach, I will press 333
Yeah.
start. I don't go 300. I go 333 push
Yeah.
play on the microwave, or I'll do 444 and just keep it just like even that. And just so, but we love broccoli, and it's funny the pictures we've sent back and forth of how much broccoli is on our plate. But
Yeah.
like we gotta enjoy that stuff. The last point that makes it simple here is decision fatigue is a real thing in your world, right? You only have so much faculty to make decisions because they're reserved, you're trying to reserve them for bigger pieces in your day and bigger problems, not what am I eating right now? Or I haven't eaten forever. Oh, great. I'm going to go overeat or overconsume. So outside of the traditional standard meal like chicken, broccoli, and rice, which you chose to eat, you don't have to. But what were like one or two other go-tos that were really simple to give some folks here ideas?
Yeah. Two things I would say. Number one is lead with protein.
Yeah.
If you get like high protein there with the high fiber carbs, right? Like you get like a really full feeling. So
Yes.
if you think about optimizing that,
Yeah.
the result is a little more satiating in my opinion. Secondary to that, uh, be open-minded is what I would say. Like just because I've always done something a certain way and I've eaten a certain way, like it's okay to change it.
Yeah.
Like I went from eating like 99% turkey to 93% turkey, ground turkey, because a couple guys were just like, "Hey man, it tastes better. It's like better in the fridge." Blah blah. I did it, wham, life's better. I've been doing it for 3 months, lost a bunch of weight, right?
Yeah.
Um, but like things that I eat a lot are like Greek yogurt
Right.
all the time. I
Yeah.
love Greek yogurt. You put some berries in there. Berries are like
Yeah.
God's hack to this
Oh,
diet. Yeah.
they're
Like
the kings of the fruits.
literally, and they're led by their friend the strawberry. That like you can eat so much strawberry for so low calorie count with so much flavor. You
Uh,
know, it's
uh-huh.
crazy. Uh, uh, like the powdered peanut butter PB2 or whatever the other one's called. I can't remember the name of it, but like the powdered peanut butter stuff is like a great way. You put one little like tablespoon in there, and it's like 30 calories, and it totally just adds flavor, changes the thing up. Egg whites, added those recently. That's like a great like windfall. Uh, eat oatmeal every morning. Every single morning, I eat oatmeal, and I add 4 egg whites.
Yep.
But like uh, and then like, leverage Brian like crazy, right? Like a
Yeah.
text with Brian, like I can't tell you, Brian, I know I'm talking to you directly, but like to everyone that's listening to this, like you text Brian and you're just like, hey, thinking about eating bacon, right? And he's like hits you back with all these labels, and you're like, oh my gosh, I should go eat Canadian bacon, which by the way, I've never eaten in my life, which is weird considering I live in New York and New Jersey people love it. Um, I've never eaten it in my life. I have 2 packages of it in my fridge right now and 3 slices of Canadian bacon. I don't remember the exact number. It's like 80 or 85, maybe 90 calories. It might even be too high there, which is like a fair amount of food for
Right.
very little calories for the
Yeah.
same impact, like, you want. And it was a text with you or a phone call with you where you're like, dude, pork bacon, turkey bacon, and then like Canadian bacon. And I was like, wait, why have I never known this? And like, you think of clean eating, you think of turkey bacon, right? But turkey
Right.
bacon, pretty actually calorie dense. And so, anyways, it's like
And then
things
the
like that.
labels, right?
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like also look at your like cheat sheets that you send out. Like the guides. Take 50 seconds and read the guide, and you're like, oh, I can do this thing to these pancakes and make them into protein pancakes. Like one thing I do is I put Greek yogurt on top of the pancake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Instant
and you
boost.
get like, yeah, you get really good protein out of the pancake. I'm making pancakes for my kid on Saturday. It's something we do all the time.
Yeah.
Throw some Greek yogurt on top. No syrup. Like, don't be messing around with, 10,000 calorie maple syrup. You know, throw some Greek yogurt on top
The
of some
berries
berries.
on top, and you got yourself a really slamming pancake.
You're
Protein,
cooking, man. My
fiber.
kid's like, what's wrong with you? What?
That's what my 15-year-old says now. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. We got to get cooking, man. I'm like, okay. Are we going to the kitchen? No, no, we're
Yeah.
not. That's awesome. Every time you would send me a text, I got a text for that. It's-
Every time.
I got an answer for you immediately, right? You would text and I would send you something back promptly and it would solve the answer and you'd be like, I'm good. I don't need anything else. And off you go. And that's something that's important is you're here and I recognize I've been doing this for 20 years. So I recognize where people are at. You
Yep.
want to get here. We just need to fill in the gap of what's missing in all these steps. Some people they can just hop and leap to get to this, which is kind of your situation. Whereas other people, Devin or Ryan's doing good. Devin, I had a good conversation with them this past weekend. Hey, I understand families first, boss is second. But then I got all these new reports, these 12 new people. And I said, Devin, why is Brian at 15? Why is Brian not at 3? Right?
Yeah.
Family, wife, kids, boss, Brian, and then everything else. Because if I'm paying attention to my health, which is what my job is to better his his body weight, his energy, his productivity, his mindset, his focus, his impact, all those 12 people are going to get exactly what they need because this guy can show up and not just
Yeah.
be like, oh, I had 18 meetings today and I didn't stop and eat. Devin, that's poor planning.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just poor planning, and you're not executing on the plan that you have for your own health, and therefore you're not effective at all. And then, oh, that's great. You're gonna then go overeat and then go show up in front of your wife and then just have no energy and fall asleep on the couch because you're exhausted and poor choices. Devin or any other person that does that, right? But we had a good conversation this past weekend on prioritizing what's important to him, and work is important, but if he's not showing up and taking care of himself, then it's just second best
I I
abilities.
agree with you, man. It's you're referencing something I haven't talked about and I should have talked about. I apologize. Like the program and the process that you set up uh, builds accountability into it,
Yeah.
which is like, sure, you could go watch all the Brian Prana info and read all your material, and there'd be a lot of things you would learn doing that. But there's an accountability aspect of it, of sending you the screenshots every day and like giving you a read into what you're eating, and you're like calling the person out. You called me out in the early days, right? Of like, fix this, boom, 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 right? And all of a sudden all right, I gotta get this 10,000 steps because like I don't want to deal with Brian. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like, but it's like that's what a coach is for, right? Like you're there to be that guide, and that accountability matters a ton, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not just the knowledge and the program that you've built and all the material you have, it's the accountability aspect that you have built into it too, that like takes this thing and launches it to another level, right?
Yeah. I
Because
appreciate
it's like, you're not stop starting, you're not like, oh, I'm on the path for 2 weeks, I'm off the path for 3 days, I'm on back on for a week, I'm off for 2 weeks. It's like you're boom, 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 boom throughout the process, the weekly check-in calls, like these sheets, you have expectations, and it's really good for
Right.
someone like me, right? Who does well in that type of thing. So
Yeah, definitely. And you have expectations of all the people that are under you. And
1,000.
it's going back to Devin. It's like, hey, Devin, I'll text you, but I don't hear back from you for like 3 days. If your boss texts you, when you get back to him,
Yes.
pretty promptly, right? Well, I'm your boss in health. I'm your
Yeah.
boss in taking care of yourself. I'm in your boss in creating the mindset around health being a priority in your life because for the last sometimes just a year or two, but 5, 10, I've had people that basically their whole life they've been overweight. And then we go through this process of actually having real conversations with her where they're at to help unlock some of these situations or these patterns of behaviors. I spot them. I had a talk with Jose very this weekend. It was again this weekend. Um, Felt like I was on fire, but here's the couch. On the left side of the couch, if he sits down, it's close to the fridge. It's TV viewing chair. And this happened. He's super productive. Gets up at 5. We have a morning prioritize himself first thing before he gets launched in his day. He gets up, he walks, then he's going through his day, being productive, doing the things. And then by 4:30, 5 o'clock, he gets home and he has an option. Sure, everyone can have some downtime. You need it. We're humans. You can't be productive 1,000% all the time. It's just not
Mhm.
possible. But if he sits on the left side of the couch, the likeliness of him ending up there an hour or two in consumption mode of food and mindless things on the TV that don't really give him anything, versus if he just literally sits on the other side of the couch, the other
Mhm.
side. There's a lamp, there's a desk, there's a space to read or write. He wants to be a writer as well, but we got to get him past being 260 pounds. He needs to be in a
Yeah.
healthy body to have healthy energy and mindset to be able to put all of the energy in there now. So literally, he has a fork in the road every day, or when he gets home at 4:30. Do I sit in this chair or do I sit in this chair? And what ends up being the outcome of that? If he goes left, he's likely to consume. If he goes right, he'll have that downtime, but there's a fulfillment to it. It's a self-satisfying thing that rejuvenates and recharges his body and his mind for the rest of the day, which is family time. And he also, this guy's a go-getter, but he's taking classes. He's an East Coast guy in Florida, taking West Coast classes that start like 8 o'clock, which is 11 p.m. Eastern. So he's getting up at 5 and not wrapping up school until after midnight some
Yeah.
days, like twice a week. So there's this thing. And we had just a real conversation. And I said, Jose, you literally have a fork. How is the next 2 hours going to end up being if you go left or you go right? Huge insight and ability to then make better choices. And so with you, it wasn't too hard. You were ready to go and didn't have some of those hurdles. But so as we wrap up, I really appreciate this conversation. This fills me up. This is why I do what I do. I love the impact change because I dropped the pebble in your pond. It's
Mhm.
rippled out to your family, your wife, your son. It's rippled out to your closest of friends, right? Ryan and Devin, and you guys have this chat thread going on. And I'm
Yeah.
not in it, but I don't need to be in it. But I laugh when I hear you guys talking about what you guys are doing in there
Oh yeah.
and jazzing each other and just poking and showing encouragement to each other. And then of course the people in your work and your employees and then other people that you impact on a day basis just being around and you can actually show up New York City present and
Mhm.
actually fulfill on what your responsibilities are. So
Yeah.
yeah, any last things that you have on top of your head here or that you would tell someone else that is in a not so healthy spot and has been there for way too long and feeling kind of bad about it? What do you have?
The last thing I'd say is, you feel great, you look great, but it's sustainable. All you're doing is just modifying what you're already doing, which is the most like mind-blowing part of this thing. It's not like you're going to like some Orange Theory or Barry's Foot boot camp or Pilates or like
Or all
eating.
organic or something, or you're going some weird diet thing.
Yeah, you're not like just drinking juice and feeling like you're gonna fall over at 2 o'clock, right? You're just like literally like, okay, if you just shift the play like that, and all of a sudden you're down 2 pounds in the first week, and you're like, oh my, like, and you're just addicted, right?
It's
And then you
easy.
just increase your activity, right? Like I just changed the activity type that I was already doing and modified it, which again, it didn't make sense to me because I thought I knew what I didn't know, right? Honestly, I'm not a nutrition professional. I'm not Brian. Like, I needed that coaching. I needed a guy like Brian. And I'll just leave you with one last thing. Like, I just will share this from my doctors. I like at the beginning of the year, I have all my like annual check-ins, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing tracking all this and I'm doing this and all this cardio. And they're like, that's incredible. Like the one guy's like, he's like, can I see your app? Like for the macros tracking? He's like, this is great. He's like looking through, right? And he's commenting on it. He's like, man, you're killing on the fiber and like, you know, and like my primary care doctor, I've had him for years, and like he's looking at my weight. He's like, man, you're down all like 10%. Like that's awesome, right? Like, and he's been like saying to me like for the last 5 years at least, like you're in good health, but if you could like lose 20 pounds, that'd be great, right? And I'm like, but I'm running and I'm eating healthy, right? And he's just like every year, it's like the same thing. It's like if you could just lose like 20 pounds, and like
Right.
and just to like see their reaction and then like how positive they are, right? And like how they're like, wow, like man, you are doing the right things, like getting that activity every single day, right? Like, and it feels good to be in the doctor's office and be able to say, like, yeah, getting
Oh,
activity every single day, right? I'm eating
love it.
right, like,
I
you know?
love it when doctor reports come and people text me. They're like, "Oh, I felt like I knew more about nutrition than my doc did."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
You had a text that you sent me in the last couple of days, but what was it? What give me the context of that? Like,
oh, so I'm down in Miami, and one of my friends looks me dead in the eyes. I couldn't believe I said this to me. He goes, "Did you have work done?" I go, "What?"
oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man, it cracked me up. I was like, Sam, no, I didn't have work done. I've lost like 25 pounds, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Lastly, is Ryan is still in a little fat loss phase. This guy, he's he
Shrek.
he's gonna be right standing right next to the Red Hawk, man. This dude is so muscular and going
Yeah,
from what 240, 250 to he's under 220 now, and we're
yeah,
gonna settle in under 210 by summertime. Summer bodies are started in March, and he's been obviously working a long time. So this dude is gonna be impressive. But and Devin's on his way, but you're already there. You're at the destination, and we're
yeah,
gonna be start as soon as you hit that 199, we're going in the opposite direction in terms of calories and
yep,
creating not only sustainable lifestyle, but also how many calories can I get Zach to eat?
yeah,
I theorize that I might be able to get you to eat at least 500 a day more, maintaining your what I call a 5 pound weight range, right? Because we're not going to
yep,
stay at 199. That's just like a big stretch goal, but probably around say 204, 207, somewhere around there. But where it's easy to maintain that. And if it goes up to 207, you're like, hey, I probably should knock off the nonsense and and just eat a
yeah,
little less, and then it goes right back down, and you don't have to work hard to keep it there. But at least 500 calories a day, maybe even more. I almost guarantee it because the your activity level, how tall you are, the just all the things that we've been doing. You might be like, Brian, dude, I don't want to eat anymore. Those simple, easy meals have now been, they take an extra 5 minutes to eat, and I'm out of time. So
Dude,
that's a
I
fun
honestly like
experience.
question how to even eat that much food because I'm eating like a large quantity
Right.
of physical food, just very calorie light.
Right.
Uh,
We'll switch it. You're gonna have more. So we tweaked the plate like this, and then we're gonna tweak it back like that. And then
yeah.
you're like, wow, I can, you're gonna take a picture and send it to your guys. Dude, look how much rice I'm eating right now. Because they both love rice, but you're gonna have this like mound of rice, and they're gonna have this like tiny little bit of rice, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be
Oh
so
man.
fun. So, well, dude, I really appreciate you taking time to share the experience and all. If anyone's listening in, Zach just showed up. He took action and we just talked together. It's where the real value lies of just having conversations and getting direction, accountability, support, and all that stuff. So I've been incredibly excited working with you. You've been a lot of fun. The amount of laughter that we have back and forth is just, I know that when Zach gets on the phone, I'm going to get a good laugh in because we just have a good time talking and working together. So let's keep it up. We got big calories to get in here at some point here in the next couple of weeks. And thank you
Yep.
so much again. If you watch this and you felt inspired by his story, then reach out. You know, go to my website or just knock on my door. I'm pretty prompt, as Zach would agree,
Uh,
responding. So, but I'd love to see how I might be able to help. All right. Catch you
sounds
all later. Thank you, Zach, so much. Very appreciate it so much. And for all the hard work and just camaraderie, even. So thank you. Off we
Thanks,
go.
Brian.